This iPhone is unlike any other iPhone you might have held in the past because this deviates completely from the current boxier form factor that the traditional iPhones have and takes this sleek and slim form factor that gives it an absolutely different in-hand feel. So build-wise, this phone is a ceramic shield sandwich with a titanium frame. So I'm not much scared about bending or breaking this, but even after putting a case on this phone, it felt slimmer and lighter than my current iPhone, which I use without a case. So that in-hand feel and that feeling of slimness is real. But that familiar feeling of using an iPhone comes back the moment you unlock this, because to be honest, iOS 26 does look good. The glassy look across the user interface, the bottom set search bars and the Mac-inspired Genie animations all look very neat and clean and good to look at. However, the transparent icons could be a pain for some people to look at under direct sunlight, and the transparency effect might also be an issue for some users. Past iPhones have had good outdoor visibility, but this one takes it a notch up because the iPhone Air gets a new anti-reflective or anti-glare coating from Apple. Now, compared to other phones that we have used with anti-reflective coating, this is a slightly lighter version of it. That means it doesn't stop the glare as much, but you do get better viewing angles and the brightness also seems slightly better. Now, this is also a 120Hz ProMotion panel, which means you get features like always on display and standby, giving it the feel of the Pro lineup. But that display isn't the only thing the Air gets from the Pro lineup, because this also gets a watered down version of the A19 Pro chip, which means heavy graphic games like Assassin's Creed Mirage, Children of Sky and Prince of Persia run really well on this phone. Now, iOS 26 memory management also means that most apps resume where you leave them, but they don't consume much power in the background. And also, the entire iPhone 70 series, including the Air, now gets the base storage at 256GB, which means you have more storage for your apps, games and photos. But there is a caveat. The iPhone 17 Pro that shares the A19 Pro chip with the iPhone Air gets a vapor chamber to manage the heat that is generated from this level of performance. But the slim form factor of the Air simply doesn't allow for one. So if you use this phone to its full potential, it is going to heat up a bit. As a result, in our benchmark stress testing and even during graphic intensive gaming, this phone sometimes heated up to the point where I had to keep it down to cool it off. On a different note, iOS 26 revamp has also brought some very useful features for day-to-day use. First one is the unified phone interface, looks clean and everything is easily accessible. Then there's call screening that adds an additional layer of spam filter, and hold assist that will save your ear from boring customer care waiting music. You can also better customize the lock screen now, and CarPlay gets a new look with new widgets which are nice to look at. But Apple Intelligence features are still not quite there yet, especially the object remover that still needs some work. Now, coming to the cameras, some of you would say that there was space for a second camera, but engineering says there wasn't. But the single rear camera from the iPhone Air will give you consistent good results in any lighting conditions. Now, video duties are also sorted because you can take up to 4K 60 FPS videos from this camera on the iPhone Air. So outdoors, indoors or low light, the videos are crisp, sharp and stable, and the photos come out sharp, detailed and natural looking. But before we talk more about the camera features, let me tell you something that you might find a bit odd to say. The iPhone 16e is the entry point into the Apple ecosystem for the iPhones right now, but the 17 Air, despite its higher price tag, gets a single camera the same as the 16e. Now, it is a different system, but having a single camera means you get no ultra wide, no macro and no cinematic video mode. So this rear camera does lose out on some features. But Apple has given it two new solid features. The first one is dual capture, which lets you take up to 4K 30 FPS videos. So now we are recording a video at dual capture in the daytime. This is at 4K 30 FPS and this is what the footage looks like. Now, by the looks of it, while capturing it, I think it is slightly shaky from the rear camera, but I don't think that is the case. And now my camera person is also up there, so he's also trying to capture us. Here you go. Say hi, you're visible. From the front and rear camera together, which means if you're a creator, then you can create high quality vlogs from this iPhone Air. And the second feature, my favorite upgrade so far, is the front facing center stage camera. So in short, you don't get macro, cinematic mode or ultra wide mode, but you do get dual capture and the upgraded center stage camera. What do you think about this trade? Let me know in the comments. And now for the elephant in the room, the battery. Apple launched a special slim MagSafe power bank with the iPhone Air, which did raise some eyebrows about the battery backup, including our own. But I've been using this phone for over a week as my primary device, and from my usage, it has lasted the entire day for me in most cases. And even two exceptional cases happened where I had to use this as a mobile hotspot from morning till evening, and it still had about 20% charge left at night. And then in the second case, where I left the camera rolling at 4K 30 FPS for over an hour, the battery only drained by 15%. So the new C1X modem and the iOS 26 optimizations do really improve the battery life. But this is a smaller battery. That means if you're playing graphic intensive games or using it for heavy workload, then you might have to charge it more over the course of time, and you might even have to carry a power bank for the same. But that is the price you pay for something this slim and sleek. And that brings us to the even bigger elephant in the room. Should you buy the iPhone Air or not? Now this phone, I personally believe, is the future of the iPhone lineup, because the Air moniker is consistent with the Air badge that is already there with the MacBooks and the iPad lineup. Now the Air badge means it is a sleek, slim and powerful device, and this phone, the iPhone Air, stands on all of those parameters. So if you're out there looking for a sleek, slim, stylish iPhone and don't mind losing out on some of the camera features, then the iPhone Air is a really unique option for you. And that was our detailed take on the iPhone Air. And if you have any other questions about this device, drop us a comment. My name is Manik Beri, you're watching Gadgets 360, and I'll see you in the next one.